In this video, I'm going to discuss the best DeFi protocols on Ethereum. DeFi, Decentralized Finance, is really crucial to the growth of Ethereum, especially if you remember summer 2020, the DeFi summer where everything boomed, people went crazy after different DeFis. This is the top projects in the DeFi space. So if you're just entering the space, especially on Ethereum, and looking for projects to invest in, use, to make your stacks bigger, then this is the video for you. And I'm going to start with the one and only Uniswap protocol. Uniswap basically was the protocol that made it all possible. Uniswap was the first that big of a decentralized exchange, entirely unique in its nature. They keep on building. They have an awesome team of builders. So the whole idea is that you can swap permissionless on the on-chain, and it's great. So Uniswap, if you go into the app, you're basically able to swap to any token you want to. So from ETH, you can search the tokens. You can also look for the tokens that people keep on putting on chain. You can find basically anything. Recently, Uniswap also acquired one of the NFT aggregators, and hence you can also find NFTs and actually buy NFTs directly on Uniswap, which is great. Another way to make Uniswap useful is going to pools and actually adding your own positions. So how the pools work is you take two coins, like for example ETH and USDC, a stable coin, you put both, and whenever there's a trade, you make a small percentage of that trade relative to your position. So you can make money basically by staking. Of course, there are inherent risks. So if you're interested in providing liquidity, read more about that. Things like impermanent loss. But this is the way to make money on using DeFi. So this is the first application that I wanted to mention. Second on my list is Lido. Lido staking is more recent one, and it came to be around the time Ethereum became proof of stake blockchain. So proof of stake means that you actually stake your ETH to earn the revenue, and Lido allows you to do that dynamically. So normally if you want to stake, be a staker for Ethereum, you have to have at least 32 ETH to run a node, and then you have to lock for a certain period of time. With Lido, you can just buy into the Lido token, buy into Steve, so staked ETH, and then you can do with staked ETH whatever you want. It accrues the value every day, so actually you get rewards every day, and the APY is very close to what you would get if you were a normal staker. So with ETH, that's around 4.9%. That of course changes daily, and there's also liquid staking, dynamic staking on Solana and Polygon as well. Polkadot, Kusama is also covered, so they keep on adding and they keep on building. They're the biggest liquid staking protocol right now. So again, if you want to start staking, you can either go to Lido and click on stake now to exchange some of your ETH to Steve, but also you can buy Steve on one of the exchanges. So for example, I could buy Steve directly on Uniswap or on some of the other exchanges as well, and basically convert my ETH to Steve. Sometimes the price is better on buying directly on Uniswap rather than wrapping your own ETH on Lido. This is a minor thing. Anyway, if you want to earn passive income by holding ETH because you're a long-term believer, this is probably one of the best things you can do. Thirdly, Aave. Aave is really one of the top protocols as well. It's definitely the biggest when it comes to borrowing assets and using your own crypto to take a loan in another crypto. Super easy to use as well. It's using what's called under-collateralized loans or over-collateralized loans, depending on the perspective, which means that you can borrow up to around 60% or 70% of what you put into. So for example, if I were to put into one ETH, I could take basically 0.7 ETH out to borrow. So you might ask why would I do that? And the answer is that, for example, this is the way to actually play with the capital you own, because I could borrow different assets. So for example, I could put in ETH, and if I believe that ETH will keep on growing in value, I could take my loan in DAI, for example, and then convert that DAI to ETH or another crypto, and maybe use that as a staking. There are a bunch of things I could do. So I could supply my ETH and then do different things with borrowing stuff. Also, that might be used, for example, if you don't want to sell your ETH, but you want to borrow DAI in order to, for example, buy something in real life. That's also possible. Similar and also very well respected DeFi protocol with lending is Compound. It basically works pretty much similar to what Aave is doing. Also, you have a bunch of pools you can borrow from, and basically very easy to use. Also recommend that you get to know Compound much better. Now, we're going into the direction of staking and yield farming, and basically Curve and Convex are here the top two. So Curve basically allows you to basically swap, but swapping the DEX really is just a part of what's on the Curve. The main thing here is the pools. The pools allow you to come with a bunch of tokens, stake all those tokens in one of the pools. So for example, you could stake ETH plus Steve, so staked ETH from Lido, and then earn additional 2.5%, and then earn additional percentage from CRV, which means that the initial 4.9% from Ethereum staking now gets up to 7%. 7.5% basically with staking, and then on top of that you could also use Convex, which I will talk in a moment. So basically Curve is a good way to actually make more money on whatever you're holding, especially if you have two correlated assets that you want to have here. Curve is especially famous for having free pool, which is the DAI USDC USDT, free stablecoins. The base APY is pretty small one, but actually it gives you the bonuses in CRV. And if you think about it, this is the most riskless thing you can do, because unless one of the stablecoins explodes one way or another, you're pretty safe here. Of course, read more about impermanent loss if you want to get into it, but basically you're all in the stables and just staking your stables to gain rewards, and with those rewards you can do a bunch of stuff. So this is definitely worth looking at. I have another video about yield farming precisely, so I recommend you go to that video, the link should be somewhere in either description or on the top of the screen. Now, we have Convex, and Convex is boosting what Curve is doing, which means that once you start staking on Convex, you can take on Curve, you can take your Curve position and put it onto Convex to earn more bonuses. The way it works is that some of the pools on Curve are actually more profitable than the others, and you can actually deposit them into Convex. So for example, this is how it works. Deposit any amount of CRV tokens into Convex, receive CVX CRV tokens exchange for providing CRV, and you receive the share of the total CRV rewards. So that's one with the one token. Now, for the liquidity providers, you can take your Curve LP liquidity pool tokens and put them into Convex app, and then you automatically begin earning CRV with the group boost applied. So you get all in all more CRV over time. This is a really cool thing. So if you are more into yield farming, definitely have a look at Convex as well. Now, finally, for the biggest DeFi protocols, I have Frax Finance. Frax Finance is definitely on the rise recently. They have their own stablecoin, which is partially backed. So it's partially backed, partially stablecoin. There's the whole mechanism behind that. There are, of course, risks attached. We all remember Luna and UST. So there's something to be mindful about here. But basically what the Frax Finance team is doing so far is really great. They don't offer you this kind of crazy APYs as on Luna. and the mechanism is much more complicated. The thing, if you go into the app directly, you can pretty much do the same thing. You can swap your ETH into one of the stable coins, and then you can start staking, or you can lend that. There's a bunch of things you can do with the Frax stablecoin or one of the other coins as well. So this is worth looking at, definitely. And definitely read about that if you're into DeFi, because this is one of the crucial parts of DeFi. So all in all, in this video, we covered pretty much everything when it comes to modern DeFis: decentralized exchanges, dynamic staking or liquid staking, borrowing protocols with Aave. And then we had also yield farming, and finally algorithmic stable coins. This is pretty much the whole spectrum of what you can expect from DeFi. There are more applications as well coming with, for example, derivatives, things like options, which are more complicated. There's also kind of applications, for example, on DeFi in the NFT space, applications like BandDAO or JPEG, which I talked about on my channel, but there are somehow different subjects here. I don't want to go into NFTs, just DeFi. For the top DeFi projects on Ethereum, that's the list. Let me know in the comments which one you enjoyed the most, which one have you used, and definitely check them out if you didn't know them before. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next video.